son. Where'd you find this?
Go on, make it happen.
And now here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome to Mallett and Michelle. I'm Michelle, and here's Steve. Steve runs, like a lot, voluntarily, for enjoyment.
On purpose.
On purpose. I do not. And I've often said, if you see me running, you better be too, because something is definitely wrong. But today's guest, we have Jackie Howard. She's an independent educational consultant, but she is also an endurance athlete, and she makes Steve look lazy.
Lazy and lame.
Lazy and lame. So this episode is for everyone that says, I support runners, but from the couch. There you go.
Okay, Michelle from the couch supports the running community. Well, I'm excited to get Jackie in here in a couple minutes, and we're going to talk with her all about things all running and her FKTs. Do you know what FKT is?
No.
Fastest known time. It's a thing. Yes.
I was gonna use something profanity wise, but
but we got to thank our sponsors, because we could not do the show without our wonderful sponsors.
we cannot. Absolutely, I cannot get through the day sometimes without Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
When flavor and fun are at 110%, you know you're at the Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
And a big shout out, Steve's word, to our friends at Swampy Tonk.
Lame.
At Pigpen.
Yeah, Swampy Tonk at Pigpen. Dripping Springs has some of the most talented country musicians in Texas. Grab your tickets to Swampy Tonk and see top local and national talent light up one stage.
That was really.
It was long.
That was a lot of words
Okay.
for you, Steve.
Yeah, loud, gritty, and impossible to ignore.
South Star Bank.
Top-notch customer service and professional banking and loans that are second to none. Stop by and see them today.
And
Kim is in the Dripping Springs,
Best of
Dripping Springs. Kim Watson, who we love.
Go vote for her.
Go vote for her.
Go vote for
as-
South Star Bank.
Yep, Best Loan Officer, South Star Bank, Best Bank, and Maggie, who's wonderful, Best Teller.
Best
At
teller.
a bank. Yep.
Yes. So and then the busiest I have been in a really, really long time.
I'm going to say ever.
Ever,
It's
ever.
as busy as it's ever been.
Mallett Integrity Team.
Real estate shouldn't be a headache or a waste of time. Call us today to see how you can avoid both.
Well, you give me a headache, and sometimes you waste my time.
I do. Well, hey, in our studio today, Jackie Howard, who we had to get you back on last week. You got sick, but we finally got you in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, hello. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I think we'll probably discover you and I have a lot of common friends and acquaintances through the running community. But tell us about how you ended up in Austin and what you do for a living, and then we're going to talk about all things running.
Yeah, I'm born and raised, actually.
Oh, okay.
In Oak Hill. So these are kind of my stomping grounds. And what was the next question? How I got into educational consulting?
Yeah.
Yes, or what I do. So my entire career has been in education. I was a teacher for many years. I was in schools for about 17 years. I taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade and high school. Skipped middle school.
Oh, yeah.
I did the littles for like 1 year also, like the 3 to 6 year olds at Austin Montessori School.
Oh, wow.
And then I was also an instructional coach for 7 years. I got my master's degree in Spain and in Spanish language and culture for
Wow.
educators. So I'm a bilingual teacher. So I speak Spanish as well. I'm half Colombian, and then I also got my principal certification, and I decided, through being an instructional coach, I really enjoyed coaching the teachers, but admin, I just put a pin in it. I said, that has like a term of like 8 years, maybe 5,
Oh,
8
really? You
years,
get
and
burned
then you
out
just
on
get
it?
burned out.
Oh.
So I feel like I'm like, maybe I'll do that like when I'm older and
Yeah.
and have a like an end, but I just wasn't, that wasn't the time.
Not ready for that.
Not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
So then I started. I was teaching a class at the high school level for the college essay, and so I just really started helping students write their college essays, and then kind of just informally helping them with the whole process due to that, and realized that there's this profession for educational consultants to help with college admissions. at most high schools, the college counselors are like drowning in paperwork and spread super thin and not at all able to give students the attention that they need.
Sure.
And the landscape for college admissions has just changed enormously, especially since COVID, but like just even in the last 10, 15 years, it's just changed and it's become so much more selective because so many more kids are like applying to more schools due to like the test optional environment from, the SAT test became really test optional in COVID, and it's still about 80% test optional.
That was
really?
crazy to me with the whole, when they did away with all of that, the SATs and stuff. And you sit down with a lot of high schoolers. What are you hearing most often from them? What high schoolers need right now that adults, whether at the school level or their parents, aren't giving them, educational wise?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, I think they need time like interacting with each other, just doing, real world with their hands projects, like just feeling like they're a part of society. I think like a lot of their existence exists behind the phone. And I think a lot of them, even, write about like that they wish that they weren't addicted to their phones or they wish their friends weren't addicted to their phones. And so I think that that's something that generation will have to really contend with. What's something, I think that's a great question. I think just...
Did you see that study? It was a couple years ago. They did a study where they asked high school kids, do you want to be off social media? With all your friends can stay on social media, but you get off. Would you be okay with that? And like 98% of them said, absolutely not. And then they asked the second question, if everybody you knew was off of social media, would you be okay with that? And it's like an overwhelming number of them are like, absolutely. I don't want to be on it, but I feel this incredible peer pressure to spend time on social media and know what's going on.
So I want to follow up on that. Being an educational consultant, especially, with college essays, I was reading some of your bio and that you helped them craft some of those personal bios. Are you going through their social media with them and kind of sanitizing it per se? I mean,
not exactly. I do advise them about it, but I helped a student applying to grad school with like LinkedIn, and that was fun to help them create their LinkedIn profile, but. No, I don't necessarily.
Not yet.
I haven't done that yet, but I could see that.
Do you know if some colleges are looking at kids' social?
Yeah.
Are they really? They're considering it. Wow.
Yeah, I would. I would. As a parent, I would go through and
scrub.
Exactly. So let's talk about AI right now, and how are our kids getting dumber, or are they better for it? I mean,
it's a love-hate relationship.
It is.
Yeah.
I think this incredibly powerful tool that they have at their fingertips can do all this work for them, and a lot of them are aware that this is going to rob them of learning how to think
or jobs.
Yeah, it's very scary. I think that's scary for a lot of them.
Well, a friend of mine, he's got kids going into college, and he said his boys are AI proofing their career, meaning they're trying to pursue things that can't be taken away by AI, which is a whole. When he explained that to me, I was like, I never thought about that.
I wish AI could come in and do some of my work.
I know, me too.
It can. Well,
it can. That's true. But I talk about that future proofing.
Yeah. It's
it can
funny.
take care of you, Steve?
No, it can't take care of me.
So
No,
there
I
you
can't
go.
do that. It's funny because we use AI quite a bit in our business. But before you came in, I was doing a market analysis, and I had
his trusty calculator.
Because the program that we use is too stupid. It has AI, but it's too stupid to do it. I still do it the old-fashioned way because that's the only foolproof way to do it.
He
So
loves
AI
that
is-
little calculator.
Yeah.
Love-hate
I hate that little calculator,
Love-hate
but, yeah.
relationship.
But Jackie, one of the things that you do is you write a blog, and so do you use AI for that? Do you use it for proofreading?
I'm like sitting in my tent typing on my phone with no service typically, and then I'll usually just like publish it when I get into a town, because if I wait too long, and as you can I still have some pending blog posts from like a long time ago that I have not published yet, because when I'm in this world, it's like hard for me to remember to publish. They're written, but they just haven't. I need to put them on there.
Do you find that your brain, when you're doing an activity, is in a different mode, and when you get back into the regular world, you have a hard time remembering some of the things that happen. That happens to me a lot.
Yeah. I'm like scavenger hunting when I'm on the trail.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, those flowers, and oh, that sound, and
Yeah.
just remembering it, savoring it, kind of trying to imprint it, because then later I'll write about it. And so it kind of became this like chicken and egg situation of like helping me to write about it if I'm really paying attention and mindful when I'm walking of what's happening and what the stories are. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Because even the next day, it's gone.
We've gone on long runs. You go for a 2-hour run with somebody and talk the entire time, and then Holly, I'll get back and she'll go, "What'd you guys talk about?" I go, I don't remember. But seriously, you talk the whole time, but your brain is like it's like you're using a different compartment in your brain, and when you come back to the regular world of all this craziness, that compartment shuts down.
The normal, where the normal humans,
where the normal humans live.
That's what my dad once said, like, "Oh, you're back to the real world," and I was like, "Depends who you're asking, what normal is, right? Like perspective."
I actually wrote down. I said, "Steve's really excited about today's podcast because he's found his people, and I'm excited because I get to ask all the questions normal humans are actually thinking about this." And so one of the things we can kind of jump into your running, I was reading through your bio, and your nickname is Sprouts.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cute. I think it's such a cute little name. But the history or the story behind the Sprouts is you were growing sprouts in your backpack?
Yeah.
As you were
On purpose?
On purpose, yes. I started the Appalachian Trail with this little like bag to grow seeds in, and I would like water it and have it on the outside of my pack. And I started realizing this is like getting really dirty. It's getting really moldy. Like it was just like, and it was so hot when I started that they just would not stay wet and grow. And it was a total failure. But I kept having sprout seeds come in my resupply boxes for like months. And I was like, no, I gave up that endeavor, but anyone want any sprout seeds? Because I was like nervous about not having like enough nutrients when you're living on rice and beans and Cliff Bars. You're like, what about the alfalfa sprouts and broccoli sprouts can like pack a lot of punch, and they're lightweight, but not if they're wet.
Yeah.
So, like,
And if you're growing them in your backpack, I wonder if later, like in your backpack, if you found one little
well,
sprout.
they had to be on the outside too to get sunlight.
Get sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably don't know this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie, but when you do the Appalachian Trail, people will give you the nickname. You don't get your own nickname. Did you pick your own nickname?
So I was hiking with this girl Bean, and we kind of gave each other like
was she carrying a bag of beans on her back?
She ate beans for like every single meal.
Oh, gosh.
She would have like these, dried beans, and it was like beans were like part of just her entire. And I was like, okay, you have to be Bean. She's like, you're Sprout.
Do they do that on other trails, or is it just the Appalachian Trail?
That's the only one that. Well, no, I've thru hiked other ones too, but. Yeah, every trail. I think if you're out there long enough, it's more common. For the shorter ones, people don't always tend to get one. Yeah.
And so you through hike the Appalachian Trail. So there's through hiking, there's section hiking. So through hiking did you start in Georgia or Maine?
I actually flip-flopped. I started at the halfway point in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Because I was on a teacher schedule. So starting in June, you're supposed to, if you're going to go like northbound, you would start in March in Georgia and go north to Maine. If you're going to go southbound from Maine, you could start in June. That would be a time, but like probably more like July or August you'd want to start, just because like the black flies in Maine. And Maine starts with a challenging section up Mount Katahdin and then 100-mile wilderness. And in those first few weeks, you're kind of like, you need to check your gear. And we changed a lot of gear. And so... And I wasn't training super hard for it. So there was a lot of trial and error, being kind of more close to civilization in like the northeast Pennsylvania
What do you mean
area.
You changed your gear out?
Oh, I changed. I got plantar fasciitis because I started in like the wrong shoes, so I had to like change shoes kind of early on. The tent that I started out with ended up being not the right tent, and so just got exchanged, got a different tent, stuff like that. I was carrying too many clothes, so I dropped some shorts. Just figuring out your system. Because I had backpack, but it had been since college and high school, so it had been a long time, and I didn't really remember how to be super minimalist. And now I pretty much have my system dialed in, but I still make changes and tweaks. Yeah.
What tent did you use that you had to get rid of? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My wife and I are backpackers, but and we've been playing around with our systems trying to get it all figured out. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
to
it is.
figure out what works and what doesn't.
Well, 3 miles for me sounds really aggressive, right? Like, I mean, and if I'm at Disney World or to vacation, that's one thing. But it was 148 miles. Is that right? On one of the runs.
She's done multiple things. So
I know, but like that feels like a cry for help or something like that. And but what I want to know is
That is my longest run, yes.
what happens to your brain out there?
Very good question.
Which one was that?
That one was called Double Scar, and that was my longest and probably most challenging event that I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to compare them, but that was in the Smoky Mountains. So Scar is Smoky Challenge Adventure Run. That's like going from one end of the Smoky Mountains to the other on the Appalachian Trail. So it's like on the ridgeline. And Double Scar is going there and back. And I did that unsupported. What happens to my brain?
Unsupported by yourself?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So
you don't have a crew. You don't have somebody meeting
Pacers.
you that made you lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
So your brain goes where? Like, are you constantly just regurgitating the same thing over and over again? Like, because I would be like, oh look, there's a tree. Oh look, there's another tree. Oh look, a tree.
It's funny because that's not the way I am. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Jackie.
No, I think like I have thoughts. Like of course, like an event like that is pretty stimulating because I had a lot of alarms actually on my phone for like reminding me to eat, reminding me to drink, like time to do this, time to take that, like salt pill, time to take this, inhaler. I had different alarms kind of going off all the time. And so that would always like kind of interrupt my flow and give me like a thing to do. But yeah, no, you're just like processing stuff. Like things just kind of emerge and sometimes like I've been on trails where there's a lot of looping and you're like thinking about a thing for a while, but then it just eventually just kind of processes out and then you're like on to the next thing and you're filtering water and you're like, oh, there's a view or like rain is coming. So the trail is very stimulating because you've got weather and daylight, darkness.
Animals,
yes.
What have you come across?
Bears, a lot of bears, yeah.
Do they run off every time you see them?
Yeah.
Holly wanted me to ask you how you deal with bears.
I just like clank my poles and I talk to them. I mean, hiking,
No, you wouldn't.
Definitely not.
No, you wouldn't.
I just say like, hi, I'm here, and I make like loud noises.
People have been killed by bears in the Great Smoky Mountains.
There's a lot in
Yeah.
that area for sure. And I saw one in like it was just after the sunset, and I saw the eyes. So this wasn't during Double Scar, and I was like, deer, fox. You just don't know what the eyes are because the eyes just shine in your headlamp. And like as I got closer, it stood up, and suddenly the eyes went from like a normal level to like really high. And I was like, "Oh, that's a bear!" And then the bears are very loud when they run through, so it's often you can hear them. They sound like squirrels, and so it's either a bear or a squirrel. They're just like loud. So I heard it running off, and it kept looking back, and I kept seeing its eyes, and I was like, "Okay." And then I went.
You're just using.
My trekking poles.
That's it. But do you have bear spray or something else to protect yourself?
Only ever had bear spray in Montana where there's grizzlies. Black bears, they don't want to attack you.
They're
like
spooked easily.
If I like had a bunch of food out and like was covered in coconut oil and like I wasn't, and I was like, then maybe that would be enticing.
Yeah.
But they don't really want to.
I mean, you probably smell like sprouts and beans. They're probably like
not interesting.
Did you read Heather Anish?
Yes.
Roots Rock Blazes.
Yes,
She talks
I did.
about when she's going through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park at night. She can hear the squirrels up in the trees, and after a few nights there, she looks up in the trees and realizes there are bears in the trees because they hear her coming and it scares them and they climb up the trees.
Yeah,
and
I've seen them in the trees too.
So you're walking on this trail with bears above your head. That's kind of freaky, isn't it?
It is kind of freaky. And recently I was in Costa Rica hiking and there were snakes in the trees. That was we had to think of snakes in the trees, and luckily none fell right in front of us. But my friend was telling me that it happened to her sister, that like a snake just like fell from a tree right in front of her. We're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd like burn the forest down.
Yeah, you would.
Sorry,
Yeah.
no.
I'd rather have a bear up there.
Yeah, I think me too. So Holly and I have done rim to rim to rim twice.
Cool.
In about 20 hours. You did rim to rim to rim to rim. Did I get
To
enough?
rim.
To rim. So you went South rim, north rim, south rim, north rim, south rim.
Yeah.
In 33 hours.
Yes.
Damn.
So okay, do you ever?
You've heard my stories
I
about
have,
the Grand Canyon.
I have, and like I just think, do you ever hit a moment where you're out there and you're going, this is stupid. I could be by a pool with an umbrella in my drink.
Absolutely not. But go ahead, Jackie. Never, huh?
No, never. I've never actually. Because no, I haven't.
I've challenged
I
Steve.
have thought of quitting sometimes, and I've tried to, but no, yeah.
I've challenged Steve. I was like, look, I'll do a 5K if you go on vacation just for a weekend and you don't do any running. You just go to the beach or you do something. And he's like, nope, I
Not
can't do it.
possible.
I would be. That doesn't sound like any fun to me at all. We did have you heard of Death by 5K? It's 10 5Ks in 24 hours.
Woo.
You do one every 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And Holly and I did it a couple weeks ago.
Fun.
And I have not. There's the first person that I have told that has said that sounds fun.
These people are unstable.
Everybody, Jackie, everybody else I have
Welcome
said
to
that
Mallett and
was like,
Michelle.
are you insane? I was
I'm
like,
in crazy land.
we had such a great time.
You're outnumbered, Michelle.
I'm in crazy land.
We had a blast. So you get it. Yeah.
I do, yeah. I've done a 12-hour event. It was called the Circus, where it was like me and another teammate, and you either had to run like a 3-mile loop, a 5-mile loop, or a 7-mile loop, and then you just switch. But you couldn't do two of the same in a row.
Okay.
I think we mostly just switched between the 3 and the 5 because that was like more advantageous. But it was fun because you run and then you take a break and you're like chilling, and then you run again and then you take a break, and then it was just kind of like
You know what I liked about it? It just dawned on me while you were talking about that. You know, when you do a 50K or a 50 mile or something, after the first couple miles, everybody kind of gets strung out, and you'll see some people and you bump into them in the aid stations and stuff. But at this race, every 2.5 hours, the whole group got together. Everybody was high fiving. Yeah, it was a lot more community.
It's like a party. That's kind of how the circus was too. It was like a lot of people waiting, and so it was just like fun.
Yeah.
I can relate. It reminds me of, you start with a Bloody Mary day drinking on vacation, and then about 2 o'clock I have to take a day nap. And then I get up and I do it again. So yeah, I get it.
You do. You
I
get
totally
it.
get it. Jackie,
equally exhausting.
That's right. You're a petite woman. How do you keep yourself safe?
Yeah, I mean I have hiked with mace before. I lost it when I hiked with it.
Oh.
I mean, I have my head on a swivel. I think growing up, my mom took us to Latin America a lot. She's Colombian and she had 3 daughters, and the 4 of us would travel a lot. And I just remember there'd be a lot of catcalls in the streets and things like that. And she just taught us from a young age, you always have your head on a swivel. So I've always just had that mentality throughout my entire life and just everything that I do. It's like I know exactly what's happening behind me and I'm paying attention. You're thinking a lot more than, it's really interesting to do these hikes as a female versus a male, because the males are like, this is so fun. And you're like, I'm thinking about where I'm going to camp that's not next to a bunch of creepy strangers.
Yeah.
And just, you're constantly assessing every male that you see or every person that you see. You have to do an assessment,
Absolutely. And there's the whole, adage nowadays about would you choose the man or the bear?
Yeah, the bear.
Right?
Every time.
Yeah. Would you choose?
Yeah, well, but it's up to us men. Like when Holly and I are backpacking, if we come across a couple of ladies on the trail, I'm 10 feet, 12 feet away from them when I'm talking to them. I'm not getting in their space. I'm understanding that they're sizing me up.
That's a great point, though, is about having male running etiquette.
Well, if we come to a place where it's sort of a communal campground where there's 4 or 5 tent sites and one of them's taken by a couple ladies by themselves, we don't pitch our tent right next to them. We give them a little space. You just got to be aware, because you don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about the sort of nitty gritty of what you do. The things that most trail runners get wrong. What is that? Most brand new trail runners, what do they get wrong?
Ooh, brand new trail runners usually come from the road. So they're looking at their watch.
And they
and
fall.
They care about the pace, and they're trying to translate road to trail. And I think it translates easier from hiking, because you need to think of it as an adventure. Like there's going to be hiking, there's going to be running, there's going to be euphoria, and there's going to be the lowest low.
Yeah.
And you got to be like looking forward to that. And road runners are familiar somewhat with that, but it's much more regimented. And I think this trail running in general, ultras, you need to have a lot of like space for things to happen,
Right.
and agility and flexibility. So it's a mentality, I would say, and trying to just, have fun with it. It's a more playful. You gotta like, you're dancing with the rocks and roots, not like, oh, this is hard, because like if you're kind of bringing a negative mentality, I think it would make it, you're trying to put your road times on the trail. That would not make it very enjoyable.
Yeah, I think for me, when I started trail running, coming from the road, I would go, okay, you got to run all the hills. You can't, if you walk any of the hills, you're failing, and that's stupid. Because a lot of times you can actually go faster up the hill walking.
And you're saving your body. You're using
right.
different muscles. You're like going to have better posture if you're hiking up the hill oftentimes. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What about your Steve has talked about this before himself. What about your feet?
My poor feet. I'm
what
missing
kind of
a
feet
toenail
do
right
you
now.
have?
Oh, yeah, me too.
Well, your body's going. You're
Yeah.
putting your body through a lot of
Yes.
abuse, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're out there and you injure yourself, how are you handling?
Yeah. You've got, gosh, like for double scar, I did a really good taping job on my feet. So I like taped them very well and like applied, gosh, I don't remember. It's like liquid, like.
I just
Some
read about
kinda
that. It's
like-
Lecotex or something like
So,
that.
okay,
Yeah.
walk me through this for the non-runners. So your feet get beat up because of the friction in the shoe and the constant
And moisture.
unevenness and the moisture and
Sweat, yeah. So you're gonna get blisters, right? So especially if they're like soft, so you want to like ease into it. And hiking helps harden your feet a lot without, But it's constant blister management. So if you feel a hot spot, you want to address it early on. You want to like something's going on in my heel. Okay, I'm gonna like stop. Like the amount of time it takes to address that early on versus like deal with an infection later on can be huge. So. I mean, ideally, you're not entering into an event.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens, of course, but I mean, yeah, like, and there's lacing techniques also to like hoist my feet like back in my shoe so that when I'm running downhill, my toes aren't slamming against the toe box. So I'll lace them in a specific way. I'll wear them pretty tight to prevent a lot of slippage and sliding when I'm running. When I'm hiking, I wear them very loose. So my hiking shoes and my trail running shoes are actually like a size and a half different. Like they're like, I like a lot of space for swelling in my hiking shoes, and for running, it's like I kind of want them to fit like soccer cleats almost. Like where you're just
What's
like
your
agile.
go-to? What are your go-to shoes?
So Hoka Torrent, I love.
Okay.
Because they're not like your typical Hoka. Recently, I think I've been like on Facebook Marketplace trying to get the old ones because the newer ones I think have more of a platform, and I like having the ground feel. So I'm probably in the market for some new ones because I like it has a wide toe box, but it's not zero drop like Ultras. And maybe I should, think about going more zero drop. But yeah, I like having the like ground feel. When I'm hiking right now, I'm in the Brooks Cascadia, which is a pretty beefy shoe for running.
Yeah.
But for hiking, it's like sturdy and it lasts.
Holly runs in ultras and she loves them, but I've tried them. I can't use them, but I use the Hoka Speed Goats.
Yeah.
And I hike and run in those. So.
I walk in my Reef flip-flops.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. Jackie, you a few minutes ago you mentioned you have these highs and lows when you're doing these events. How do you get through? I think this is something a lot of people struggle with. How do you get through those low times? You think about quitting. You think, oh, my feet hurt. How do you get through that?
Yeah, I mean, I just like it gets to a point sometime where you're just like, can I keep walking? Can I make steps forward, progress? Because if you just like eventually time and movement will do its thing. Eating. Like if I have any like sugar, caffeine, it's amazing. Food is amazing. Eating and drinking, if I, so I just really try to stay on top of that. But if I'm like hitting a particular low, I will try to grab for food at that time. And I will see about like, can I still keep making like, oh, I don't have a broken leg. You know, like I will like think of catastrophic things and I'm like, I don't need to get helicoptered out. So yes, I can keep walking. It hurts, but like pain is just a physical temporary thing that won't last. And so just this idea of impermanence, like nothing is going to last the whole time. And eventually you move through.
Yeah.
Some of the pains that like nausea was a thing that I learned about during double scar. I think nausea has always kind of gotten me, like where it's like that pain I haven't really known how to work through, but during double scar I did, and I was like, wow, even nausea doesn't last forever.
What do you know what caused that? The nausea?
Oh, just tons of gels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been there.
And moving in the jostling and just being dehydrated and
Yeah.
So we had last week or week before last, we had Gretchen Palmer on, who's a nurse practitioner.
She's my nurse practitioner. I don't know if that's like allowed to say.
No,
She's awesome.
Yeah.
We
She
loved her.
I love her. Oh my
Love
gosh,
her.
I totally see her every year.
So one of the things that she was talking about, especially for women as we age, is getting enough protein. And I know that in your bio, you told us that you're a vegan as well. So how are you going on these long endurance runs and hikes? How are you making sure that your body is getting enough fuel and not just from chemicals, not just from a bar or a protein powder or gel?
Well, on the event itself, you're not gonna get it perfect because you're not eating real whole foods, and that's the like. Protein deficiency occurs when you're like not getting enough food. Typically, if you're eating a well-rounded like whole foods, like you're eating vegetables in your diet and you're eating well, you're usually not protein deficient. So I do that in my normal life, and then during the events, it is coming from a lot of just like powders and bars and this and that, and it just kind of carries you through. I honestly, like you kind of just need carbs to fuel. You don't want too high on the protein. Because that can cause some stomach issues as well. So like during, you're not like taking a lot of protein, but afterwards, yes, for recovery, yes. And it's really important to eat afterwards. Eat like
what though? Because Holly's a vegetarian. I'm not. I don't eat red meat, but I eat chicken and fish and turkey. I struggle to get her enough protein.
Is she protein deficient? Or?
Well, I mean, she gets 20 grams a day of protein. I would say that's deficient. So, yeah, I mean, she will eat eggs. She will do cheese. But, she's not, and when she does the typical vegan stuff, beans and all that. But I don't think she gets enough protein.
No, I think, I don't know. But for her particular case, but in each body is different. For me, I eat a lot, beans and rice, vegetables, like a lot of leafy greens. I do make smoothies with protein powder. I wouldn't say every day, but when I think of it, I have tofu maybe once a week. I think I'm just like eating like seeds. A lot of seeds are in my diet.
What's your favorite cheat meal? Even though it's vegan, but what's your favorite like absolute cheat meal?
Probably just beans and rice and avocado.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a cheat meal?
Side of beans, side of rice. I don't know. Is it not a cheat meal?
I thought chocolate chip cookies were a cheat meal.
Is that a meal?
Is it hard to go out to eat? Like if you go out with like a group of friends and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, we're going to go celebrate somebody's birthday, and it's probably harder. I would guess it's harder to be vegan than it is vegetarian.
It is, yeah, it is. And sometimes there's like a thing on the menu. That's what I'm typically used to, like one thing. Or if it's a nicer place, typically they will accommodate, especially like in Austin. Like there's so many places that will accommodate and they know what vegan is. But even on the Appalachian Trail, I mean, I had no issues. Like Asian food, Mexican food, I can usually make it work at restaurants, but you have to like be always thinking about it a little bit more.
We discovered Louisiana is not a place to be a vegetarian.
No, it's not.
Everything is like got bacon or shrimp or some kind of
it was even like
broth
Puerto Rico too. When Tate was stationed there, I was like, I want vegetables, and so we went to the grocery store. It was a Walmart, and there was hardly any vegetables out. It was a lot of fruit, but I was like, I need some green stuff. It was kind of crazy. But
some cultures don't do that.
Some cultures for sure. But like when you're going out to eat, I guess even like the rice and beans at Mexican food places, you know, you got to be careful that it's not made with lard. And
I'll usually say vegetarian beans, you know. And
they're like, okay, here you go.
Maybe if I'm lucky, but sometimes you can't. You just, it's a practice. It's not something I'm going to get perfect. And
you
absolutely.
can't beat yourself up if you don't get it perfect. But I want to ask you about something that Holly and I have discussed many, many times, especially when we're doing something. What do you think motivates you to do this stuff? When you get right down to it, why do you feel driven to go do these things?
I mean, I think I've always been drawn to challenges and just experimenting and seeing what I'm capable of and pushing myself to grow. So I just as an educator and teacher, I just have this like growth mindset, like always like, what is the potential? Like, can you do more? Can you do faster? Can you do it this way? Can you do it unsupported? Can you know, just wondering and exploring myself and what I might be capable of. And I don't like to ever say I can't do that. Although I will say I can't dunk a basketball. Like, you know, there's certain things that I'm not going to do, right?
Physics,
but I think I like to think of myself as like limitless possibilities and not limiting myself of like, oh, I can't do X, Y, Z. And if I ever think like I can't do that or that feels too hard, I like zoom in on it. Like recently, the marathon has felt like, oh, it's been 11 and a half years. That's feeling really big and scary because I haven't done it in a long time. I don't think I could do that and enjoy it. And I did last weekend. And
you did Austin?
I did Austin, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, you know, just kind of like that's why I chose to do a marathon, because it felt like kind of scarier.
Yeah.
You talked, that's interesting that's your comment, because you talk about in your bio back when you were, I think you were 37 years old and you froze your eggs. And you talk about, and kind of what I was reading, it's like you really want to be a mother. And motherhood is really one of those goals that you want to accomplish. But one of the things you said is you don't want to do it single or alone.
Yeah.
But yet you're telling me that you're always challenging yourself. And
is there anything more challenging than motherhood?
Probably
not.
not.
I survived it. If I can survive it without killing somebody. But I mean, I do understand the support system, but your gift to be a mother, to bring that kind of what you have to another human being.
It's an incredible gift.
Yeah, it is an incredible gift, and maybe you need to look at it as one of those challenges that you're the continuing of the growth.
Yeah, for sure. It's on my mind, you know, and
I would hate for someone like you that has so much spunk and so much personality and so much to give back, that when you're 50 to 60 years old and going, what made me think I couldn't do it on my own?
Yeah, it's not, and it's not that I couldn't, but I haven't bit off that yet. And it's a friend just recently kind of brought it to my mind again, and she was a single mother, and I have some friends that have done it by themselves, and they're total inspirations. But it's definitely more challenging.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I just kind of still, I don't know, I'm not there yet, but it's
kind of like growing a sprout in your backpack. It's just in the front.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you, the doing it on your own, you want to do that? I didn't read this bio. So you want to do it on your own, or you don't want to do it on your own?
She'd rather not. Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of it, right? You know, being a mother to me it has been one of the greatest experiences of my entire life, and now I have a granddaughter.
Oh, congrats.
And thank you. And it's even more amazing. It's because like I don't have all the pressures of being the parent.
Yeah. And
I can leave that to my daughter. And granted, I have, you know, a wonderful husband that was, you know, great dad, but outside of Todd, outside of that, I don't know if I would want to have, I would have wanted to have missed that experience.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying this woman to woman, and I'm saying, you know, pray on it, think about it. And, you know, it sounds like you have a wonderful support system, and, you know, have baby will travel. There's backpacks that you can stick a baby in the back of.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm still just like searching for that soulmate, that love, to do that with. Like I would like to create that with someone, but I know I can't have it all my way, and I don't need to be, you know, so there's I don't know.
I want to tell you a story, and Michelle's heard this, but I came out of a really messy divorce and swore I'd never get married again. Don't want to do that. Been there, done that, over it. And Holly and I were together, and I pretty much told her, I just don't think I'll ever get married. We were doing rim to rim to rim, and we were about 3 miles from the top of Bright Angel going back. So we were 46 miles in or whatever. And it's dark. We got our headlamps on. You know, the cliff drops off, but you can't see. There's just like giant void there. And I turn around and I go, I'm too old for this shit. And Holly's behind me, just with a big old smile on her face, just trucking along with her little trekking poles. And I go, I'm never going to find anybody to share this life with like her. And I thought, I got to ask her to marry me. So there's somebody out there. I mean, I remember the moment. I was, because I was kind of digging there. And I was like, I turned around and she was just like enjoying it.
You know
She was
what
loving every
that
moment
tells
of it.
me? Maybe on the trail, maybe sometimes you choose the man versus the bear. Maybe he's on the trail because crazy people love crazy people.
And we've done a lot of really fun, crazy things
Yeah, it's
together.
very admirable though that what you're putting your body through and your mind, body, and spirit, and then on top of it, the fact that you are also a business owner yourself, a woman-owned business, and that you are giving back to these kids and education. I think that's very admirable of you as well.
Thank you.
I got a couple other questions. Of the Run Austin project?
Yeah. My Run Every Street in Austin project. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. It started during COVID with my dad. We were like, a lot of the streets were closed. There was just like, I don't know. It was like one of those things that like, I think people started during COVID. I don't know. Maybe we saw someone on Strava do it. And so anyway, we started just kind of picking them off in South Austin and building this map on City Strides is the app. And we kind of it became a thing that we did together.
That's fun.
It was
That's
really fun. Yeah. So like, I never really wanted to like drive all the way up to like Cedar Park to like run 6 miles. But if I'm, my dad would be like, come on, let's go. And he would pick me up and drive me. And we would have this like hour in the car to chit chat and then like run. So it just made it fun to do with him. He's recently moved to Wisconsin. And so I did run some streets in East Austin yesterday. We call it running streets to like get our streets. There's these little like nodes. They're it populates with like red little dots, and so we're just like getting nodes like a video game. But it's kind of tapered recently just because of like the driving to go run. So I'm like, I'll save it for a long run. Or I have a buddy, Nick, who also does it. So like maybe once a week we'll be like, okay, let's run some streets, and we'll like meet in a neighborhood like far away from us and. You
and I are exactly like that. That makes no sense to you, does it?
No,
Michelle?
that to me makes sense to me. You know why what I find about running like extremely boring, besides sweating, is the monotony of it. The same thing over and over again.
It's a meditation.
And I love that's why when we're on vacation or whatever, we walk everywhere. I told you we walked 30 miles in 3 days. I mean, you did that, at breakfast.
Yeah.
But I think that's really cool. And I wanted to go also and ask you, what do you do for fun? But it seems like your entire life is just fun. But then
my entire life is fun.
You love dancing.
I do
also
love dancing.
That's one of my love languages too. I love it.
Absolutely love dancing. I dance all the time by myself in my house. I mean, I would go out and dance more if it wasn't so late, but yeah, because I wake up early to run, so I'm like, oh my god,
There you go. What time do you get up?
Should get up around 6 sometimes. Okay. I mean, I have a 5:30 run tomorrow morning, so I'll get up at 4:30. Like somewhere, sometimes I sleep in. I'm not super structured right now. I'm trying to become more structured and have early mornings, all the mornings. But yeah.
Holly and I go to bed about 8:30, 8:45, and we get up at 4. And
that's goals
same
for me.
thing.
Goals. I'm still on like a
but same
10
thing.
o'clock.
I'll tell,
10 o'clock still feels early to me, but I would like to go to bed around 9,
I tell
9:30.
people that, and they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, we're just trained to do that. I mean, that's
if you train
our
yourself,
body,
you can
our
do
bodies.
it. Yeah.
Sometimes Michelle makes fun of me about it. I feel weird being the way I am, but I can't help it. I'm drawn to this kind of stuff.
He feels weird because I tell him he's weird.
No,
That's probably
weird is good. Weird is good. The kids say that weird is good.
when we were doing that Death by 5K, I'm out there having a blast. And
Well, you're doing what you love. Absolutely.
I know, but it was just like we went out to this fancy lunch on Friday with a bunch of people from a title company, and I was telling them what I was doing. They all looked at me like my head was on backwards, and I'm like,
your head is on backwards, Steve. I forgot to tell you.
What is it about people like you and me that's so different from the people that don't get it? I wish I knew what that component was.
Yeah, that is an interesting perspective to look at it that way. I guess, I mean, look, what both of you guys are doing is filling your love tank, and you're the only one that you have to please.
You know what?
Nobody else cares
who
about.
Cares?
Who
cares?
Yeah. But you know what I was going to tell you, and Jackie, I think you'll agree. You said running is very monotonous, but if you think about what you're doing when you run, it evolves, and you start out, and at my age, I'm 63, I'm clunky in the beginning, the muscles are starting to work, and then things even out a little bit, and then the sweat comes, and then you start to feel your stride, and then as you go, you start to get tired, and you kind of, I'm in tune with all those things happening in my body, and I bet you feel this too. Do you do some of these and your resume is huge here, do some of these challenging things, and when it gets really hard, you go, okay, here we go. This is the part I like.
Yeah, there was a time last summer, or maybe it was 2 summers ago, it was really hot, and I was on a long run, and it, like, after 20 miles, I was like, oh, that was just a warm up.
Yeah.
Here we go. Like,
this
it was just like, this is the part.
Yeah. Because you can't get to the hard part of a long run unless you do those early, easy miles. It doesn't become hard until you get to that point where your body starts to go, what the hell are you doing to us, man?
Yeah.
So I look at it as this. You hire lawn people, right? Because you hate fiddling around in your garden and your lawn and stuff like that. And I drive a car.
Yeah, that's
novel.
Yeah, Jackie. People say this to me. I'll go, yeah, we did a 30-mile run on Saturday, and they go, I didn't even want to drive 30 miles on Saturday.
Yes, for sure.
The way she was talking about going to do these streets, she was like, I didn't want to have to drive all the way to Cedar Park. Well, I didn't want to have to run all of the streets in Austin.
But I'll do 148 miles in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Very beautiful.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Mopac traffic, you know, it's great and all, but it's no Smoky Mountains.
It's the yin and yang here that we're getting, right?
Jackie, what's still left on your bucket list? Like, what do you, I mean, I'm looking through, you've got all the highlights that most people kind of have on their, things they want to do. What's left that you want to, besides the marathon you just did? What else are you looking at?
I'm doing a marathon in 10 weeks in Wisconsin. Austin was kind of like testing the waters. I didn't sign up for the Eau Claire Marathon until I did Austin. I was like, I just want to make sure I like it and that I want to do that kind of training because it's much more specific than the trail stuff, the adventuring. And so...
Is it more boring?
That word never comes out of my mouth.
Really?
I don't think I've ever been bored. When I was a child, I remember I would sometimes say, like, I was bored, and my mom would just tell us, you're not using your imagination enough.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wish to be bored. I would love to be bored. I don't know.
We were talking about that before the show, that our real estate world's so busy. I wouldn't mind being a little bit bored for like
would
30
be so
minutes.
Nice. Like, give me some boredom, please. No, but marathon training is just like, it's just more specific. Like you train at specific paces. You're doing like specific quality workouts, and it's to me it's just something I haven't done in a while. And so,
do you find that when you're marathon training, you have a greater potential to get injured than when you're doing that's what I find. Also that,
and I would like to keep doing what I'm doing, so I don't want to get injured. And also lately, like the speed work has been an issue for my lungs. So I have dealt with, since the Grand Canyon FKT in 2021, pretty severe asthma. Like I had a bronchospasm during the Grand Canyon run. I tried to quit. I tried to like push a button on my thing, but I forgot which button meant what. And so I pushed the button that said I'm taking a long break. And so my parents were like watching the tracker and they're like, oh, she's just taking a long break. But I was like trying to quit, but like also how are they going to save me from the, I was just a little.
You
so
were
I
Lukey.
marched out of there, but it was like every switchback I had to stop and like take breaths because I could not breathe. And so I had a massive bronchospasm, and since then, and that was like after I got COVID for the first time. So ever since basically COVID and then pushing my efforts in the desert and the Grand Canyon, I've dealt with a lot of pretty severe asthma.
Are you doing an inhaler now?
Constant, yeah. I do like twice a day, the like steroid, like a Breztri inhaler, and then while I'm running, a different steroid inhaler. Like I've got
Holly does that.
the works going.
And Austin's not a great place to have those because there's so many allergies
especially
here. So it
with the
exaggerates
cedar and
it,
everything. So I wanted to ask this question. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you are running like marathon or 5K, 10K, whatever, you are in competition not only with yourself but with everybody else that's there. That's the watch, like what you were talking about, people checking their watches and their times and their forms. But when you're trail running, it's basically you against yourself, right?
Yeah,
So,
like for the FKT
that
adventures.
I would get more.
Trail races, you're racing the field, of course, and then there's the FKTs or the like long through hikes, and yeah, it's just me and me, and that's it.
That I understand more. Yeah,
the FKTs, like for the Grand Canyon, there was the previous record that I was trying to beat, and I did by 7 hours.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Jackie.
But yeah, and then the one in the Smoky Mountains, I was the first woman to do, so I set the record. And it was crazy because like a couple weeks before, a woman set out to do it. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to beat her time. Like, I don't have enough time to like train differently. Like the work is done. And she ended up quitting at like 100 miles.
Oof.
So she didn't finish. Yeah. And so I don't know. Like, I don't want to wish her bad, but I got lucky that I didn't have to beat someone else's time. And
I'm wondering.
And I set the record, and I was like, okay, now someone go beat me because
I'm wondering why she quit.
Oh,
like
it could be one of it.
Yeah, I think she wrote a little report, but yeah, I didn't read too much about it before because I didn't want it to get in my head.
So the fastest known time, there's a website that tracks that. And you submit for it, and they have a bunch of criteria. It's not just you start your Garmin and you go, hey, I did that faster than anybody else. There's actually a process to. It's like the Guinness Book of World Records, but for runners and athletes.
Yeah, or there's biking and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you tell us what's on your bucket list?
No. So I would say, I mean, it's an interesting question because I don't really have like a huge like bucket list, but I think I can think of different things that I want to do, but the Ice Age Trail is in Wisconsin. My parents live up there. It's a very flat trail though, so I'm like, I don't know how interesting that is, but you can do it very fast.
Okay.
So I think this fall I might do like 4 or 5 days, like 40-ish, 50-mile days.
Okay.
Like kind of fast pack it, run it,
right.
like and just experiment with it in a short bit to see if I want to do like it's 1,100 miles. So see if I wanted to do the whole thing. So I haven't done something that distance yet. This 200, 300 mile range is rough because of the sleep deprivation, and that like messed me up after Double Scar. I went 72 hours without sleep.
Oof.
And it was not okay. Like, it took me a long time to recover from the sleep deprivation, the cognitive effects.
Okay.
And that was what was so like
So
scary
you had
to
like
me.
a brain fog for weeks after that?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
Interesting. I never knew that happened.
You're supposed to get like a REM cycle every, like if you go longer than I think 60 hours, you should get a REM cycle.
Okay.
And I didn't. I wanted to go under 60, but I did 64 hours. And so, but then if you include the time after and the time I was awake before, I was like, wow, I went like 70, like too long. And then it was hard for me to sleep after that. Because like I needed to retrain myself to sleep, and now I'm like very precious about my sleep.
Yeah.
Did you get to a point when you were doing that where you started to, I'm using air quotes, hallucinate? Like you saw things that weren't there?
Yes, all the roots were snakes.
Isn't that
and there
wild?
were so many roots, but they were all moving and they were all snakes. And I was just like, what? Yeah.
I see, I see like, is that a roach running across the trail? It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
you
get,
see.
there's nothing there, but you feel like, what was that ran
Yep.
across the trail? But there's
You know,
nothing there.
masochist.
I
You're
would
just
hear things.
torturing
I would
yourself.
hear footsteps, and then there's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird feeling. It's strange what your brain can do.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, I think you got a
Nope,
couple
go
more
ahead.
questions. So this can get expensive. How do you support yourself doing that? Is it just your job that pays for all these adventures? Do you have sponsors?
My job pays me, and then
Yeah.
I pay for I don't have sponsors. I kind of shy away from that just because like I feel like I don't want to have to perform for someone else.
Oh.
But so I just never pursued that. But the trail races get very expensive. But that's why I kind of tend to just do my own thing. I'm single and don't have a family to support yet. So I'm able to just prioritize it and know that it's for my, mental well-being and and so I feel like it's a less expensive way to travel than because you're sleeping in a tent.
Yeah,
and,
no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But I think
I use miles, to travel.
The race entry fees is
fees is what gets you,
And
and so
they've
I don't do
expensive.
so many races. I know that's honestly why I ran the full Austin Marathon. My friend who I coached was running their first half marathon, and I was like, oh, I'll do it with you, like as support. So I was going to sign up, and I'm like, it's only $20 more to do the full.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, well, I might as well get the cheer and the support and the aid stations. So I was thinking, oh, I'll probably have to do extra miles that day to get a long run in anyway. So I'm like, well, I'll just do the whole marathon and get it out of my system to contend
like
with
it
the
went
beast.
well. Yeah.
It did, yeah. I had fun, but yeah.
Do you mind
They're
if I
expensive.
ask how old you are?
I'm 40. I just turned 40
Do
in
you
September.
really? Oh,
yeah.
wow, I would not. I would have thought much younger than that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Good for you. One of the things this past weekend when we did Death by 5K, it was my birthday the day we did it, 63, and I had
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you, but I had a dozen people because they all sang me happy birthday at the start of the 5K or whatever.
Oh, he just hated that.
No,
I'm
I loved
sure
it.
he
I
did.
loved it. But it was
He's like,
funny.
do it again and
It was,
around.
it was funny because a dozen people, tapped me on the shoulder or ran by or I ran by them and they go, hey, happy birthday. I hope I'm still doing it when I'm your age. I'm like, God, I'm not that old.
Yeah, no, I watch these 80-year-olds or 90-year-olds on social
know.
media, and I'm like, oh, I hope I do it when I'm their age.
Yeah.
I think the secret is you never stop.
I
Because
agree.
when you stop, especially as you age, then it just gets harder to get going.
Yes.
And I think that's even just when I'm doing my runs, if I stop,
Or
it's harder to get started.
You could be like me
Or just never
and
start.
never
Never
start.
start,
So
yeah.
you talked a lot about sleep deprivation, bears. We talked about bears. We talked about injuries. We talked about your current health issues that you're having. But one of the things that I read that you said, and I want you to explain this nightmare scenario, was the fear of being trapped on a boat with a bunch of drunk people.
I'm a creature of the land, and I like to traverse. I think when I'm on trail, I'm not a summit chaser. A lot of people chase summits of mountains and get to the top is the goal. And I'm like, I could just bypass the top and just keep going. I just like traversing on land, just getting from here to over there and go over there. So the idea of being on a boat, I've spent some time, my friend lived on a sailboat for 5 years and sailed across around the world. She ended up getting stuck on the Marshall Islands during COVID.
Oh, that's terrible.
But
Wow.
it was COVID. I mean,
yeah.
not stuck, but you just couldn't go anywhere. And so I did spend some time with her on her boat in Hawaii, and beautiful for a little bit, but being stuck on a boat is my worst nightmare because I'm like, you can't, there's no escape route.
True.
Oh, yeah.
You're
True.
just stuck, and then
Just wander around the entire Ernest Albert.
Doing laps on a
Just do
28-foot
laps.
sailboat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sharking.
Yeah,
I call
yeah.
it sharking. That's what my dog
Yeah.
does. Just
Yeah.
goes around you.
Jackie, do you still coach? You said you coach
I
somebody? Is it-
coached a friend. Yeah, I coached a friend recently. Just ad hoc. It's very informal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will. I like it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
And then we mentioned it early on, your blog. Where can people find out about your blog if they want to follow your adventures?
Sprout singular writes. So
Okay.
like pen and
Sprout
paper.
Writes.
Sprout Writes is the blog, and the business is jackiehoward.org.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I knew I was going to enjoy this. You and I have a lot of things in common, and you've answered a lot of the great questions that I had. That things that I wondered about, and I don't feel so weird now.
She's like,
Party at 2.
Yeah.
Party at 2. It's like I said earlier, it's very admirable what you do and what you put your body through voluntarily. But yeah, kudos to you and girl power.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah,
Girl power.
That's a lot of what motivates me, like, to do some of these things, is to just like set these records or whatever for women and for young girls to feel like they can do whatever they set their mind to, and I can't like inspire people without practicing what I preach. So yeah, that's definitely, you know, and being a self-study constantly, right? Because like if you're not learning about yourself, and for me this is a way, one of many ways, but a pretty effective way for me to learn about myself, by putting myself through these different, you know, adventures.
Well, you have a lot to
Yeah.
give back to this
Thank
world,
you.
and I wish you the best.
Thank
I
you so
absolutely
much.
do.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Jackie.
And thanks for making Steve look lazy.
It's true.